In this episode of Shiren the Wanderer, we enter Table Mountain proper. 9 new enemies appear here with enhanced attack and abilities. Monsters here can easily ambush us and end our adventure. The first beast is the Master Hand. It has 50 HP and killing it yields 400 experience. If we don't kill it before its HP dips below 15, it will revert to its level 1 form, which yields only 1 experience. However, 400 experience at this point of the game isn't much to worry about. One annoying enemy is a young Tengu. It deals little damage but masquerades as a strong monster. The 4 damage there reveals we are dealing with an imposter because a normal hand deals about 25. This strategy fails for monsters with close range abilities, such as the Green Walrus, which can steal. We don't want to risk the chance that the beast is not an imposter, so we use up our long range resources, such as staves. It turns out the walrus was a Tengu. Indeed, we wasted some of our magic charges. However, we don't want to risk losing our items to an actual thieving walrus. The chain has a high attack and can attack up to 2 squares away. Fortunately, we did not waste any items on it, since that was another Tengu in disguise. The green triangle on the floor is a dangerous trap. It rots any rice balls not inside a holding jar. Rotten rice balls, when consumed to prevent hunger, cause adverse effects, such as poison. They also replenish fullness by a low amount. We've explored most of the floor. Let's return to the room for the exit. Hands want to escape from us. Whenever they stop in the passageway, another enemy is likely blocking its path. Now we finally fight a Rio Chainhead. With 30 damage per turn, it's the toughest monster on this floor. One method to defeat it is to swing a Cyclops Killer Sword, which deals double damage to the one-eye enemy. We are done with this floor. Let's head to the exit, but a monster stalks us from up north. It's best to avoid this thieving beast. Killing this bunny is paramount because it can heal other monsters. Unfortunately, the bunny spawns to the next 11 of 12 floors. It does die in 1 hit. We finally encounter a ghost owl as well. Its darkness prevents us from seeing beyond the 3x3 grid centered around our sprite. The silver lining is that monsters in the dark room also cannot see far away. The chain head appears, but we don't have enough HP to tank its damage. Our situation becomes worse because an invisible beast attacks. Someone is an air devil, a flying ghost monster. Creating a doppelganger counters the 2-on-1 assault. Undead, the air devil is weak to healing items and a sickle and ear slayer sword. Killing it is easy in the passageway because it can attack us from only one direction despite being invisible. An item appears on the opposite side of the water. We can't reach it, so let's backtrack. A fluffy bunny from somewhere else on the floor comes here to heal. It cancels out the damage we dealt to the hen. We should knock back the bunny for 5 damage, the exact HP it has. A bad strategy shown here is to doppelgang the hen. Confused, the doppelganger can randomly attack, so it can kill the bunny and level up. We are lucky this time, but the knockback staff would have been more useful. Obviously, we don't want to doppelgang the bunny, which the hen could have killed and then leveled up even more easily. At this point of the game, Gitans are so useful against other monsters. Because they deal fixed damage, 10% of the pile number, we want to stock up on them when we can. Pressing left does not allow us to move, because another air devil is blocking us. We need only swing because it will approach us. Not only can it steal our items, the green walrus randomly multiplies when struck. Doppelganging stops theft but not cloning. The RNG favors us because no clones appear. Here we see that walruses unable to steal items drop new items. If we had a walrus shield to prevent theft, we can farm clones for experience and dropped items. Dead end, let's return to the previous room of the exit. Luckily, the multiplication trap did not trigger. It produces new invisible traps otherwise. Turns out one of the Gitan bags we found earlier is an Endulu. The monster is revealed when we ascend floors. A bunny also appears. Knocking the Endulu kills it indirectly. This is often the fastest method to kill the bunny. It may seem the Endulu is not much of a threat, but its higher level forms have high attack. We are particularly vulnerable to them when we pick up and use fake items on the floor, because the masquerading monster attacks immediately. We saw this with the level 1 form in a previous episode. As for the rest of the floor, the same monsters from the previous 2 still spawn here. We must be careful around a chain head. It can attack from 2 squares away. We can lure it to us when we step to the right or left, but invisible traps may lay in the room. Instead, we backtrack to the passageway, where the chain head's ability is neutralized. Again, we don't want to trigger traps, so we walk on spaces we have safely stepped on. That way we can waste turns as the monster approaches us. Because the room is dimly lit, we know a ghost owl resides here. Let's hope we don't wander into other dangerous monsters as we try to find the room's other exit. We don't want to risk attacking the green walrus because it can clone, and clones can steal from us. The squirrel asleep prevents the walrus from taking any actions, but when asleep, the walrus can replicate, so heading to the exit is the best option. Tengus and hens disappear from floor 20 on. 3 new tougher enemies replace them. The first is the Mystanos. It can immobilize its targets, preventing retreat so that other monsters can attack, dangerous when other strong attacking monsters are present. The other new beast is the Super Gaze. It can hypnotize us to take random actions like unequipping weapons or throwing away our items, wasting our turn. This beast is best fought long range as it must approach us to use its abilities. The Gaze is the worst of the new enemies, because we cannot take actions during hypnosis. It can hypnotize us as many turns as it wants before it decides to attack. The Sight Herb reveals traps as well as invisible enemies. This herb is particularly useful in large rooms where invisible traps may occur between items on the floor. This katana may be useful as a projectile since we don't want to fight any future gazes in close range. The final new monster is a Blaze Puff. It can deal 30 damage per turn, so it can easily kill us. A Dragon Killer or Air Slayer sword is super effective against it. Traps are revealed, so we move freely to lure the Cyclops. A step in the lateral direction entices it, closing the gap. Normally the chainhead can attack from 2 squares away. One thing to note about this type of floor, the center room is usually connected to 6 other rooms. In this case, most of the items were in the center room, so additional items are unlikely to appear elsewhere, but we can still check. A sleeping Blaze Puff. Let's not disturb it as it has strong attack. Nothing. The bottom left room also has nothing. Finally, the last room has a scroll of need. Now let's head to the exit. We no longer have to worry about chain heads, however 4 new enemies appear. Before we discuss them, we must take care of the fluffy bunny that's decided to heal the Mystanos. The fastest method is to knock back the Mystanos into the bunny, but we can't see the bunny because the ghost owl is in this room. But if we don't kill the bunny, it continues to reverse our damage. If we waste a turn, like an unintentional miss, the bunny will chase us instead. Its priority is attack if no monsters need heal, thus we save a charge on our knockback staff. Now let's focus on finding the exit. A rest town appears after this floor. In order to find the exit, we are going to have to deal with enemies like the Menbel. A level 2 monster, it can summon other level 2 beasts including chainheads, which are normally not found on this floor. Throwing kitons at Menbels is useful because it's high physical defense. Strangely, the Menbel's younger brother, the Shubel, also appears on this floor. It can summon level 1 monsters here. The Curse, another new beast, is just an upgraded Curse Girl. Finally, there's the Mecharoid. It lays new traps on the floor. It's an interesting beast, but we'll have to wait till next episode to see it.